Hey guys, so I wanted to tell you another miracle story of something that happened to me. It's really a long story, but I don't want this video to be so long, so I'm going to cut out a lot of the details and get more to the point. I want to preface this video by saying, first off, this is my unique experience, and if you are going to try something different, while 100% I do believe that it's an amazing product and it can help a lot of people. Legally, I have to say you should go to your doctor first and check it out with them. Also, I have a friend that has worked with autistic children, and she requested that I add in a note. While this has worked for some children, it may not work for your child or for you in your circumstance, although I do have several friends that I've since gotten to try these drops that have severe mental health issues, schizophrenia, paranoia, all different types of things. It also helped my dog with anxiety. And I haven't seen a person take it that has said nothing happened. I just want to preface this though, that I don't want you to get your hopes up and think your results are going to be exactly like mine. Everyone's body is different, and it is possible that what's causing you a problem may not be heavy metals like mine was. However, we are inundated with heavy metals everywhere right now. You can't even get sea salt or chocolate without it being loaded with heavy metals, and that's just two examples of things when you're maybe trying to be healthier. So maybe you'll want to try it out. I'll just give you a quick summary of the backstory. Last summer I got COVID. I think it was the second time I got COVID, but it was infinitely different than the first time I got COVID. I was sick for about a month, then started getting long COVID, and then I started getting post-COVID symptoms. I was having heart pains. I could not absorb water in my body. I drank water constantly, and I just felt like it was disappearing into thin air. My muscles were very weak. I had zero energy. I had extreme brain fog. Everything was difficult. Even just lifting my arm to fix my hair, I didn't have energy for literally anything. And I was getting worse over time. The first time in that series of COVID, I was able to go to church. I asked for some people to pray over me, basically. In my church we call a priesthood blessing. It's a little more than praying, but I was hoping for a healing. And I was miraculously healed. I stood up from that blessing feeling a lot better, and over the next day or two, I just got better and better till I was completely healed. That was around, I believe, October that I had that healing. I had first gotten COVID in August of 2023. Well, the second time, but the first really bad time. So then I was good up until around March-ish. 2024. I started getting all the symptoms back again, started getting really thirsty, my heart started hurting, I was getting weak, I was just not able to do anything, sleeping all the time. Everything was a struggle. And I was like that for about a month. I didn't even have the strength to go to church to get a blessing. And I remember thinking, well, if this is going to be the rest of my life, if God wants this to be what it is, I accept that, but I can't do anything. And my mother was talking about filing for disability, and I didn't have the energy for anything. And I just thought, well, at least I will pray and bring this to God, because there's a lot of things I want to do in this life and serve Him a lot. And if it's His will that I don't do those things, then I will just stay that way. But I thought, if He will even heal me a little bit, I will use that little bit to serve Him. I slid off my bed, knelt down on the ground, and I prayed to God, and I basically said to Him, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I got long COVID again. I didn't seem to have gotten COVID again, but I got long COVID. The symptoms just came back. I told God, if you want me to do the things that I feel like I need to do in this life, I need the strength to do them, and if not, I accept my fate to be this way. But if you give me the strength, I will serve you. And that was my intention, not because I had COVID. I had all along had that intention, but it was just reminding myself and God I was immediately healed. I received my strength, stood up, and I was ready to go. That lasted until I think it was like the end of July, somewhere around there, when the symptoms came back again. I don't know if I got COVID another time, but for whatever reason the symptoms came back. I was so upset that they came back again, and I thought, did God just heal me the first time in church and the second time while I was on my knees praying, just to have me, return to this state, just to give me a little taste of life again and bring me back to that? Well, I prayed again on my knees, and God did not heal me this time. I was kind of like, well, what do you want me to do about this, God? What should I do? And I just kept feeling like I had to do research and find out a different way to get healed this third time. So not able to physically do much at all. Couldn't go to the gym, I had no energy for anything. But I went online and I started researching the symptoms I was having. I kept getting led back to heavy metal detox, but I didn't know how to do it. So I had signed up for some teacher, which I'm sure he was a great teacher, but I heard the classes were pretty expensive, thousands of dollars. I had bought a test kit to see if I had heavy metals, and then I returned it because I thought, even if I find out, I'm not going to be able to pay for whatever this company is going to offer me next to help me heal. And then I just started trying to find things on the internet. I found charcoal cleanse, where people take charcoal pills and that's supposed to pull things out of the body. And I did that for 3 weeks every day. I didn't feel any different, but maybe it was good for something. I don't know that you can stay on charcoal pills for a long period of time doing it daily, because I don't know if it pulls out other minerals in the body and things. I'm not sure about that. I'm just telling you my experience. So didn't feel any different. Then I came across this site, the Detox Mama, on Instagram, and she was talking about how her child had autism and all these different symptoms, did this heavy metal detox, and within a few days or weeks, whatever it was, the symptoms reversed out. That she started making eye contact, speaking, stem movements stopped. I was like, well, what is she taking? And went up to the top of her bio, and she had these particular drops. My situation wasn't autism, but in reading comments and other posts of people that had healing for all different ailments with the particular product that she used, I thought, well, why don't I try it? So I ordered the drops, and I'm going to tell you about all of the changes that happened to my body very quickly. Now, I will also say, before I get into that, there were 2 other things that I had done aside from the charcoal pills prior to starting the drops. So I was trying to change my life all around. I was reading about all of the different problems with Roundup in our food if you're not eating organic food, and all of the toxins in body lotions and shampoos and creams and all of the things around us. And I started trying to reduce that by eating more organic food, eliminating perfumes and different things that hold a lot of toxins and get absorbed into our bodies. So for about 3 weeks or so, I also was eating 90-something% organic food and reduced a lot of toxins in my environment. I also started taking this. This product I got from Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below if you're interested in trying it. I did it for about 3 weeks as well, 1 pill a day. And it turns out, I didn't know at the time, but this pill works with the drops that I added to magnify the detoxifying effects together. These things about 3 weeks before possibly accelerated the time when I started the drops, because things happened very quickly once I started the nano-sized zeolite drops. And I do want to say that not every company produces a high quality drop. There are a lot of drops like this coming out now because the good ones are working. But if you don't get it from a good company, it's possible that it's not going to have the same effect. So I started the drops. On day 4 was my first body change. I started feeling burning in my fingers and my toes. Now, I was already sick, I was going through a lot, and I thought, oh no, is this MS? Is this some kind of neurological thing? Is my body shutting down? I didn't know, started freaking out. Since I was both like 8 years old, I was diagnosed with Raynaud's phenomenon. When I was little, I got diagnosed because I started getting black dots on my toes in the winter. Looked like bruises, and by the time I got to high school, it was very bad. The doctors basically said to wear 2 pairs of socks in the winter, like if I'm touching something cold, make sure I have gloves on. So my hands and feet, since like 8 years old, have been ice cold all the time. Like if someone even needed like an ice pack, I would put my hand on their face to just cool it down. So day 4, my hands and feet are burning. Day 5, the burning was more intense. I was getting a little more nervous because it was getting more uncomfortable. Day 4 was like, it was burning, but I was like, I don't know what's happening. Day 5 was like painful, not too painful, but a little painful. And day 6, my hands weren't cold anymore. My feet weren't cold anymore. I realized what was happening was that I was getting feeling and blood flow back in my fingers and toes. I didn't even realize I had lost some feeling until this happened, and I started being able to feel touch and feel more than I had for a long time. Since then, my hands and feet have not been cold. I have not had an issue. Normally I wear socks and slippers and all the things, but up until like a few days ago, it started actually getting really cold in my area, leaning into the like fall time. And up until that point, I was just not even wearing socks. I didn't even need to, which is astonishing to me because that hasn't happened. And I felt totally fine. I didn't feel like I need to get some socks on because I'm cold. So the next thing, I don't have the exact order of everything, how it happened, but a lot of things happened. So the next one was, I was reading the Bible with my mother. Now, I've never formally been diagnosed with dyslexia, but I have been dyslexic. If you give me a paper and numbers and, just ask me what the page says, I usually flip the first and last number, or a word, I'll pronounce it weird. Something will happen a little off. And in order to read it correctly, I have to take a breath and make sure that all the words have settled on the page before I speak it. If I'm in a group and someone calls on me to read something, I usually read a little bit, maybe like 20% slower than everyone else. And they may not notice that I have a problem. It just might sound like I'm trying to be courteous so everyone can hear the message. But that was why. That was going on in my head. So I'm reading the Old Testament with my mother. It's probably like a week and a half maybe into the drops. I was reading it super fast. And this is, I was reading the Old King James Version of the Old Testament, which is a little bit challenging language. It's not standard, how we speak today. So it's even a little bit more brain power usually for me. So the fact that I was reading it at like super speed, I stopped myself after I got like half a page down, and I looked at my mother and I said, I normally don't read like this. And she said, no. And then I said, all the words are in order. They're making sense. They're not the letters, and everything is not switching around on me. I don't think I'm dyslexic anymore. And that was amazing. That was amazing that my brain, I've never heard of this before, but that's what happened to my brain. Also, I have a thing when I hear music, my brain scrambles the notes a little bit. Like I can hear it and I can sing. And if I'm given just one note at a time or whatever, I can do that. And I love to sing. But if there's a harmony or a melody that's added into it, it's suddenly like my brain can't keep up with what it's hearing and gets all scrambled as well. The next day, I was listening to music. Suddenly I could hear each piece individually, and it wasn't getting scrambled. And I was like, I think whatever happened with my vision just happened with my hearing with music as well. And since then I've been practicing music, and it is different. It's a different experience right now. So I don't know exactly how that works or what was going on with my brain, but I am really grateful that I just feel like I got an enhancement. So another thing that happened when I got COVID, the really bad, first round of really bad, around the same time I started getting very bad cramping, which felt like probably period pain. Around the same time, I had a friend that was suffering from endometriosis. And the pain that I got was every day, regardless of if I had my period or not. It was constant. Well, it did go away, like sometimes it would go away at night and come back, or whatever time it would go and come back, but it was like every day, and it would get super intense where I'd be on the floor in a ball, in pain, sometimes crying. I'd have to take medicine like Motrin or Tylenol to be able to function, and those things make me sleepy, so that was just awful. But I also had COVID and the other symptoms, and I couldn't handle going to another doctor or trying to figure it out. I didn't have the energy for it. I didn't have the time for it. I was just like in general suffering, and I just was like, I just want to in general heal myself, and I don't want to have to go to 50 different specialists to deal with my heart for one and muscles for another and my tiredness. And I was like, it has to be all connected. I mean, I didn't know that was specifically connected, but I just wanted it all to go away. And every time I got the miraculous healings, the 2 times in the past, that didn't go away. The other symptoms did, and I was able to function with pain medicine, but that pain didn't go away. I think it was about 2.5, 3 weeks into the drops, the pain was gone. It was gone. And I was, talking to one friend. She was like, you have to go to the doctor, you have to go to a gynecologist or OBGYN, you've got to get checked out and see what's causing this pain. And I was like, I will eventually. And then my friend that had just had the endometriosis surgery, she had one prior to that and was told it could come back. And they don't even know that you have it or not until they do an exploratory surgery. So she had it and it came back, and then she had surgery again, and that could have been me too. I probably did have it, but I mean, it felt like it. I would have had an exploratory surgery probably, and who knows what would have happened. I don't know, because I didn't go to the doctor. I don't have like a sheet to say this is what I was diagnosed with and now it's gone. But I know that my pain is gone, so that's been miraculous. Another thing that happened was around the same time as COVID, my ankles started swelling. The heart pain with the ankle swelling was concerning for doing the Google searches and stuff. So the swelling in my ankles went away, and that was very noticeable. My mother was like, your ankles don't look swollen anymore, and that's been consistently gone. So that was amazing too. Another thing that happened was, I want to say it was the same time I got COVID. I, in the past, have gone up and down with my weight, but it's been really easy for me to lose weight when I want to. And when I've gained weight, it's been because I didn't want to lose weight. I wanted to eat everything. And it was a choice. But as of recently, I had wanted to lose weight and I could not. I did all kinds of things, and maybe I'd be able to lose like 5 pounds, and then I'd gain 5, like double it. And I, over a few months, gained like 15 pounds while I was trying to lose weight. Now, I know as you get older, things don't work the same, but it was on a rapid increase. And I was just eating healthy, just eating a little less. It wasn't like I was doing some weird yo-yo diet that was gonna make me gain more weight. It wasn't adding up. And it didn't seem like it was an age thing. It seemed like there was something wrong. I mean, you say everything is an age thing, but I didn't feel like that was the case. So on the drops, so far, I think I've lost about 20 pounds. And I started the drops probably 3 months ago or so. And I've not been really doing things differently. I'm still eating the same for the most part. I am less hungry, big time less hungry, and the weight's coming off. So I don't know if it was a thyroid situation. I mean, I've had my thyroid tested. They always say it's fine, but the weight's coming off now. So there's that. The next thing is my cell phone. Probably around the same time as COVID, I always have my cell phone on my desk or near me when I'd be working and doing things. I started feeling the radiation from the cell phone. And I got scared and thought I was getting maybe breast cancer or something, because I would feel a burning sensation coming from my cell phone to my skin. Prior to COVID, I did have a sensitivity to electronics like a remote control for a TV, key fobs for a car, like the remote starter, if I put that in my pocket, I would get a rash where the key fob was. And my skin would start burning and be itchy and it would feel uncomfortable. So I'd have to put the keys somewhere further away from me or put some layers in between, like a purse or something. And that's been for a long time. But then the cell phone got extra to the point where prior to starting the drops, a few months before that, I would be throwing my phone across the room, like trying to get it as far away from me as possible. I wouldn't want it on my desk. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely going to cause me cancer if I keep this close to me. I can feel it burning my skin. So because I could feel my phone so strongly when I was within 5-7 feet of it, I never lost my phone when I was in the house, because I would just walk into a room, I'd be able to feel where it was and I'd find it right away. I was about 3 weeks into the drops. One day I'm sitting at my desk working. I realized I don't know where my phone is. So I got up, I was looking for my phone everywhere, walked all around the house, couldn't find the phone. Go back to my computer and I'm like, all right, well, I don't know where my phone is. I guess I'm just gonna keep working and hopefully I'll figure it out after I'm done working. A little while later, I hear buzzing, look down, my phone was right there. I don't feel the cell phone right now. Why don't I feel the cell phone? So I took it and I ran it along my body and I didn't feel it anywhere. And I was like, I don't know what is going on. So cool that night, how God puts things together, and I don't know, the algorithms of the internet maybe are sending some subliminal messages that cause me to connect, who knows. But I ended up seeing a infomercial for that same guy that I had almost signed up for the heavy metal detox program with. And he was giving a lecture on how if you have heavy metals in your body, you become an antenna for cell phone radiation and radio frequencies around. So I instantly was like, that's why I was feeling the cell phone so strong. The heavy metals in my body were so much that I was feeling my cell phone and getting pain and rashes from being an antenna. Well, that's gone now. That is gone. I'll say praise God. Okay, this is the last one I think I have for the moment. So the last one is allergies. Well, I have a few food allergies. One of them specifically is ketchup. I developed the ketchup allergy probably in my mid-20s. It's not a strong allergy, or hasn't been. It's just if I put some ketchup on food, like Heinz ketchup, I will get itchy. Usually in the middle of the night. So whenever I eat it, the middle of the night I'll get woken up and I'll be itching like crazy, my legs, my arms, and I'll feel angry because I feel like the itching is coming through my pores. The ketchup allergy went away when I had COVID. I was so sick in so many different ways. I didn't even have time to process the fact that the ketchup allergy went away, and I started eating ketchup every day with my food. A few weeks into the drops, I had ketchup on my food like I had been doing. All of a sudden, in the middle of the night, I get itchy all over again. Well, what I can conclude from that is that heavy metal toxins in my body were blocking my cells so much to the point that I wasn't even able to have an allergic reaction to something that I was allergic to. I have not been able to obtain ketchup since I realized that, and since the allergy, to test it again. But I theorize, and I'll let you guys know, I think I can update the comments section. So when I get to the point of being able to try ketchup, I'll leave a note in the comments about that experience and if, in fact, the ketchup allergy has gone away again. But I theorize once my body is healed fully, or healed enough to a certain level, my ketchup allergy might go away and heal as well. That's my theory. We'll find out eventually. But I had left a note on a page. So there's the Detox Mama and then there's the Detox Mama Bear. I'll put the links to both of those ladies' Instagram pages in the whatever section of this as well. And I had left a comment on the Detox Mama Bear's page about how amazing these drops have been. And she reached out to me privately and we ended up having a chat. Dia is her name. She's super nice. And I told her I'd make a YouTube video about my experience. So I love this product so much. It changed my life. In conclusion, this was my experience. The first time, God healed me. The second time, God healed me. The third time, God healed me. They were all different. First time, people were praying for me and giving me a blessing. The second time, I prayed for myself. And the third time, God led me to find the solution to heal my body. And as I was telling someone about it, she said, now look how many people you can bless because of this information that you have. And I didn't want to let that go. I can't let it go. I need people to know that this might be a solution for you. So if you are interested, you can click the link in the description. There is a $50 gift card for trying the product out. It would cost you about half. There's also, that's for the drops and the spray. There's also a link below for the Amazon fulvic acid that I am still taking, and I think the three of them work together. The company that sells the drops also does sell a fulvic acid product as well. I'm sure it's great quality. I'm just telling you from my experience what I have been using that potentially led to all of the results I've experienced. So if you're suffering from parasites, that's another thing that I just will add in also. I'll give you a little explanation of heavy metals and how I came to this conclusion about using these products. From Dr. Pompa, who is a doctor that I didn't go to. I just couldn't afford it and I found it a different way. He said that when you are getting blood work and everything's coming back normal and the doctors are saying on the charts you seem fine and let's do more tests and they're not getting any answers, it could be because you have heavy metal toxins that are blocking the things from your bloodstream getting into your cells. And your bloodstream might have the right amounts of vitamins and minerals and hormones and everything. That doesn't mean your cells are. And if your cells are not getting those nutrients because of heavy metals blocking them, you're going to have health problems of all different kinds. The heavy metals can reside more in certain parts of the body, which can cause those specific areas of the body or brain to have more problems. It can be passed on from when you're a baby, from your being in your mother's womb. They can also get passed on from what you're eating, what you're spraying, what you're living in, all around you, the environment. And when you are toxic of heavy metals, you become a perfect host for parasites, and parasites can cause additional health problems as well. So if you detox from the heavy metals in your body, you can also eliminate the nasty parasites that could be causing you more issues. I don't think that we ever get rid of all the parasites in our body from the research I've done, but the ones that will cause you the most harm will not be able to live in your body anymore because you're not going to be the right host for those kind of parasites. A lot of people from comments I've read said that they passed parasites from doing the detox drops after like 2 or 3 months. I have not experienced that. I don't know that parasites were my issue, although I'm not saying they weren't. I haven't experienced that. But clearly I had a lot of heavy metals in my body, and removing them has caused me a huge amount of health benefits. And like I mentioned before, I started giving the drops to my dog. He was on trazodone and gabapentin for anxiety. He has severe anxiety. If he's taken outside for a walk, for the vet, for the park, anywhere that there's going to be people, he loves people so much, his anxiety goes through the roof. He can't handle it and starts gasping for air, and has been many times to the point of almost needing oxygen. And so the trazodone and gabapentin have been kind of rescue drugs for him. But since he's been having the drops as well, his anxiety went way down. And I didn't tell anyone in my family about it. I just started giving it to him. And one day, my mother, after like 2 or 3 days of him taking the drops, she said, "I don't know that your dog is feeling okay. He's just kind of looks like he's kind of relaxed and sleepy. It didn't seem normal." And I didn't say anything till the next day when somebody rang the doorbell, and normally my dog would freak out, and he was pretty chill, walked over to the door, and my mother was like, "He's got to be sick. You've got to take him to the vet." And then I told her that I was giving him the drops also, and then she had been very skeptical, and that moment she was like, "Can you get me some of those drops too?" So I hope this information blesses other people, as it has been a blessing to me. I'm grateful to God that He guided me this way. He gave me the blessing of knowledge, the knowledge on how to heal myself, and led me to the right sources. If you are having health issues, I would say, aside from taking it to the doctor, also take it to God and consider these products or something similar, testing it out. Remember, you want a good quality nano-sized zeolite because it's so good at attracting heavy metals that if you get it from a company that hasn't filtered it and purified it properly, it can already be loaded with heavy metals. And when you're taking the zeolite and it's covered with heavy metals, you're just putting more heavy metals in your body. And if you read different sites or different companies that are selling the product and they have bad reviews, don't take it that it's actually the nano-sized zeolite. Take it that it's a bad company. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great night. This is a different kind of miracle story, but God works in all different ways to reach us and to help us. And so it's my story.